Hey guys, welcome to my channel. I'm LeetCoder. If you guys are new here, I pretty much do LeetCode style questions and explain things in the simplest way possible. Today we have a pretty interesting problem today and I'm very excited about it. So let's go ahead and read the problem statement. This question is called intersection of two arrays, right? So it says given two integer arrays, nums 1 and nums 2, right? Return an array of their intersection, right? Each element in the result must appear as many times as it shows in both arrays, and you may return the result in any order, right? All right, that's cool. Yeah, guys, let's go ahead through those examples, right? So it says 1, so we got nums 1, 1, 2, 2, 1, right? Num 2, 2, all right, cool. And then we return this, right? Which makes sense because it tells us, right, that each element must appear as many times as it shows in both arrays, right? So since there are two 2's and nums 2, right, and two 2's and nums 1, right, we return those 2's, right? So there's no 1 in nums 2, right? That's why we don't return any 1's, right? I'm saying, so yeah. It's like this one, right? We got 495 949 84, right? There's 1 9, right? I'm saying, so we account for it. There's 1 4 and none of this and 4, right? You see, although we have multiple 4's, right, we only return 1 4, right? We have multiple 9's in this one because there's only 1 9 in nums 1, right? We return 9. I'm saying 1 9. I'm saying, as you guys can see, we had two 2's on this one, right? So this one went corresponded to that one, right? And then this one corresponded to that one, right? So you need every one of them needs to have a matching number attached to it. I'm saying, so this belong. I'm saying, so that's how we're able to, say it tells us every number must appear as many times as it shows in both arrays. I'm saying, so you see, we saw 2 times in both arrays, so we included in the output. I'm saying we saw 4, at least once, right? Because it was in this one and this one. That's why we only included 1 time, and then 9 once. Although it's multiple times here, right? There's only once. It only appear once and nums 1, so we only account for it once. I'm saying, so we account for a number as many times as we see it, right? So yeah, guys. So the intuition about this, right? We did a problem similar to this, which was called intersection of two arrays, right? So the algorithm is going to be very, very similar to it, guys. I'm saying, so if you guys haven't seen that problem, I highly suggest you guys go check it out. So this question can make a lot more sense to you, and you can get your intuition better. I'm saying, so I highly suggest you guys go check it out. I'm saying, because yeah, I went through a lot of details, so it might be very useful. So yeah, so how we're going to go about it, guys? We're pretty much have a map, right? So in the first one, right, we use a set, right? Because we only cared about seeing a number multiple times and all of that, right? So this one, it was fairly easy. I'm saying we could just check the set, right? We would check if it contains it, and if it doesn't, we would include it in the intersection, right? So the algorithm is gonna be the same, guy, but this time, instead of using a set, guy, we're gonna use a map, right? A hash map, right? Pretty much gonna help us, guys, in storing the frequency, how many times we see a number, right? Particular number, so that when so let's say there's two numbers, right? There's two 2's, right? To account for the two 2's, right? We need to know how many 2's are in a certain array, right? How many times it appeared, right? So that's why we gotta store it. And every time we loop through the first one, right? We add all the numbers and their frequency, right? So the key would be the numbers, right? And then the frequency would be the actual frequency. I'm saying how many times they appeared in the first array, right? And then once we loop through the second array, which is number 2, right? We would check, right? So let's see, we would check, right? We saw 2, right? So was there a 2 and nums 1? Yeah, there was, right? And then we would put it into the output list, right? And then we decrement the frequency of it, right? To show that we accounted for that 2 already, right? We found a matching 2 in the second list, what I'm saying. And then we encounter a second 2, right? And then we check, is there a 2 in the hash map, right, that we have, right? That was constructed by looping through those numbers, right? Yeah, there's a 2, right? And then we would see, all right, is it greater than 0, right? Is the frequency greater than 0? That means if the frequency is greater than 0, guys, what I'm saying, that pretty much means there's a matching one for it, what I'm saying. So we would account for it, it would decrement it, and then that means there's no more 2's, right? And then we return those things as the thing, right? So let's go through a quick example real quick, all right? So those are pretty much, this is the examples that we have, right? This is nums 1 and this is nums 2, right? So the algorithm's gonna look like this, guys. I'm saying we're gonna loop through all the numbers in nums 1, right? So we're pretty much gonna add it to a 1, right? 1 appeared once, right? So we account for it, right? Then we go into the other number, right? 2 is now already in there, so that's the first entry, right? So we add 2 to it, right? And then guys, the next thing that we do, right? We see this 2, right? And then we see, all right, there's a 2 already in the map, right? We just increment the frequency of it, right? So we do 1 plus 1 is 2, right? So it gets incremented to 2, you know what I'm saying? And then we see this 1, right? And then there's already a 1 in the map, right? So we need 2. So we just add 1 plus 1 is 2, you know what I'm saying? So now, this is the result, right? This is the output that the thing that's gonna hold output pretty much, right? And then now we're gonna loop through the second list, right? But this time, as we're looping through, guys, we're gonna check. So we check, all right, 2, right? So we check 2. Is there a 2 that exists in the map, right? We use the map because the map was constructed by using all the numbers in nums1, right? Pretty much we're just saying, all right, cool. The hash map pretty much, is a very good data structure, right? That can help us solve this problem easily and efficiently because, it gives us constant time access, what I'm saying. So that's why it's so useful to use a hash map, I'm saying. So now, guys, we check, is there a 2 in nums1, right? I'm saying, yes, there's a 2 in nums1. Yeah, actually, there's 2 2s, I'm saying. So now we need to account for it, I'm saying. So we put 2, and then we're going to account for the one of the 2s, right? That's in nums1, right? We would decrement the frequency of 2, right? 2 back to 1, what I'm saying. So now we're in this thing now, right? We check, is there a 2 in there? And is the frequency of 2, if there exists a 2, right? Is it greater than 0? That means there's a which will represent there's a corresponding 2 in the nums1, right? So yeah, there's still 1, 2, right? So now we account for that 2, right? We add it to it. And then we would decrement the back to 0, right? So now that's how we return those 2 things as the answer, guys, what I'm saying. So let's quickly do the second example, guys, what I'm saying. I'm pretty sure should solidify the algorithm, right? So now, I told you guys, that's the second example, right? So now, which is the same thing as this one, right? So, yeah, guys, so now, this one's going to be pretty interesting, right? So now we need to do, we loop through, right? So we're going to construct the map, right? The hash map, right? So we had 4, right? We had 4, all right? 4 appear 1 time, right? Then we see a 9, 9 1, right? So pretty much, which represents the number 9 appeared once, what I'm saying. We see a 5, right? 1 again, right? So now we're gonna loop through all the numbers in nums2, right? So now we loop through, right? Is there a 9 in there? Yes, there's a 9, right? So we add 9, right, to it, I'm saying. So we add 9, right? And then we go into this one, right? And then we also remember we need to decrement it. So now 1 minus 1 is 0, I'm saying. So now we go to this one, right? 4, right? 4, is there a 4 in there, right? Is the frequency greater than 0? Yes. So we account for it, and then we add 4 to the output, right? And then we see another 9, right? So is there a 9 in the hash map? Yeah, there's a 9. But is the frequency greater than 0? Nope. It's 0, so we don't account. So there's no other corresponding 9s that's inside of nums1, what I'm saying. There's only 1 9, and we already accounted for it by taking this 9, what I'm saying. So yeah, and then we kept doing that. There's an 8, no, there's no 8. There's a 4, right? 4, yeah, but the frequency is 0. We already accounted for that 4 with this 4. So sorry, so that's why we return 9 and 4, guys. And this is indeed the answer, I'm saying. Yeah, so hopefully you guys are able to follow. So let's go ahead with the implementation, guys, what I'm saying. So like we talked about, right, we're gonna have a map, right? So pretty much integer is gonna map to integer, right? All right, so we have a map. It's called map, right? New hash map. Saying hash map, right? And now, guys, the next thing that we're gonna do, right? I told you guys we're gonna loop through, right? We also need, I believe, the results, right? Let's have that, I'm saying. All right, so now we're gonna loop through all the numbers and nums1, right? So and so in num and nums1, right? So if, right? So we're just pretty much adding all the numbers, pretty much put we put that number, right? Or if map get or default, right? This is a very good function that pretty much, if that number doesn't exist, right, in the hash map yet, default to 0. But if it's already in there, get it for me and then increment it by 1, right? Remember I told you guys, this is how we're gonna increment the frequency, you know what I'm saying? And then now, guys, the next logical thing that we're gonna do we're gonna loop through the second array now. Remember I told you guys that, right? So pretty much int num and nums2, right? Well, we talked about that, guys. I'm saying so we're gonna do two checks, guys. I'm saying so we first thing that we do, right? Does it map that contains, right? Does it contain that number? Right, I'm saying, and is that number, right? So if it does it contain that number? So it contains key, and then does that if it contains it, right? Does that number is it greater than 0? What I'm saying, to signify there's a corresponding number in nums1 right? I'm saying is the frequency, right, of that number greater than 0? What I'm saying, you do that check, right? If it is greater than 0, guys, I'm saying that means all right, we're gonna account for it. I'm saying we're gonna do that easily. I'm saying, and then now we're gonna have to remember, guys. I told you guys, right? So put num, right? Map that get num, right? We don't do get or default because we know that number exists because we do a check for it here, right? So we're good on that. So we just do, all right, get that number and then decrement it by 1 for me, all right? So we decrement it by 1, right? And then after that, guys, I'm saying, once we done account for all the numbers, since they want it in an array format, right, like this, right? We're gonna have to pretty much create an output. I'm saying, so the answer, pretty much, right? I mean, new int of size of res that size. I'm saying, and then, guys, we're gonna have this index variable that's gonna help us and easily populating our stuff, right? Easy. So same thing, guys. We loop through. Now we're gonna be looping through the result list, right? That should have all of our numbers, right? This is an array list, right? We're just easily converting it to an array list. I'm saying. All right. So now, how we're gonna do this, right? So we're gonna loop over the numbers and result, right? And then we do answer, right? Index plus plus, right? And then enter index, right? So maybe it's not intuitive for you guys, so I'm gonna take index out. So now pretty much do is equal to num, right? And then we do index plus plus. So I think we should be in pretty good shape, guys. Let's check it out real quick, see if we pass these small test cases. Yeah, don't forget to return res, don't forget to return answer. All right, let's press run. All right, cool, we passed that small test case. Let's see if we pass all the test cases, guys. Perfect, guys. We're able to pass all the test cases, guys. And I want to thank you guys for taking the time to watch this video. If you guys found value, make sure to give me a like. If you guys are new here, make sure to subscribe because I'll be doing a lot of other videos just like this one. So I want to thank you guys for taking the time to watch this, and I'll see you guys in the next one.